Hi there, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on News Center Maine Plus and online. I'm meteorologist Ryan Breton. First system pulling away after dropping a general 3 to 6 inches of snow in most of central and southern Maine. As we talked about, wasn't a big system, but it just came in at a really inconvenient time with some pretty good snowfall rates in the early afternoon, at times an inch or more per hour, making for a mess for a little while. But that's pulling out, and by Friday morning will actually be dry, totally dry, and plenty of time to clear out the roads. So getting around on Friday should be fine. There could be a spot snow shower or two on Friday, but nothing of significance. The next storm is lined up, though. It's coming in out of the west coast, and you can see actually quite a bit of rain over Northern California and mountain snow falling here. This system is going to track over the country, and it generally takes a west to east track, as I'll show you in a moment. It's not going to be a classic setup for a big snowstorm, but it will mean some snow that comes in over the weekend. So by midnight Thursday night into early Friday morning, you can see some snow showers up in the mountains. The morning commute in central, southern, eastern Maine will be dry. Could be a brief flurry or snow shower, though, that passes through on Friday. I don't think it'll last all that long. What you will notice on Friday, though, is the wind. We'll have a northwest wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. High temperatures near the coastline may get to near or just above freezing. When you factor in the wind, which will be pretty gusty, the wind chill will be an issue most of the day on Friday. Any Friday night plans? We're in good shape. It is going to be a cold night. We'll start Saturday morning with temperatures that are in the single digits, and Saturday is the dry day of the weekend. We'll have a partly to mostly sunny sky. High temperatures on Saturday get into the mid and upper 20s inland, and then over southern Maine we should get into the low 30s for highs on Saturday. Not as much wind, so if you're doing some skiing or snowmobiling, it will be a pretty good day up north, just cold with highs either side of 20, but not too much of a wind chill factor on Saturday. So now let's talk about the next storm. The weather on Saturday during the day is quiet. Here's the storm by 6 o'clock Saturday evening. Now usually when you look at a storm coming at New England, if you want it to get up into Maine and really clock us, you want it to take a track that then curls into the Gulf of Maine and up to our northeast. That would put all of the state in the core of the heaviest snow. This storm is going to take a little bit more of what we call a flatter track, though, generally going from west to east. So that means even in parts of southern New England, much of southern New England, this will be a pretty sizable snowstorm as the center of the storm tracks down to the south. Now, where it makes that path just east to west, as it looks now, the very heaviest snow will just travel in an east to west band. And that means that if you're in central and northern Maine, you're not going to get the heaviest snow out of this system. It's more likely to favor southern Maine down into southern New England. The timeline, this is midnight Saturday night. We're starting to get some snow into southwestern Maine, snowing in New Hampshire, and the bulk of this probably comes through Sunday morning. Now you see the darker blue here, that's that area of heavy snow, and it really doesn't get too far north into the state. However, it will be cold, so what snow we do get may be able to fluff up a little bit, even if there's not too much actual moisture. And we're keeping in mind that even though the computer models have trended a little bit south over the last 24 hours, it's possible it comes back up north just a little bit. So our snowfall forecast for now, I wouldn't call it inflated, but it's a bit on the high side, accounting for the possibility that the storm does track a little bit farther north and this heavier snow band maybe gets into more of the state. But if you're in the far north, you're probably not going to get too much out of this as it just passes through from east to west. See, by noontime on Sunday, the snow already lightening up in western New England, so the afternoon will be turning drier here in Maine and New Hampshire. We'll just be down to some flurries and snow showers by the time the Super Bowl kicks off, so there may be snow on the ground, but it should be easier getting around by late afternoon and early evening on Sunday. So I want to show you a couple of different computer models just to give you an idea of how they're kind of playing this out. And again, this has trended south over the last 24 hours. It had all of central and southern Maine, this European computer model, in the 6 to 12 inch zone. So this one has gone quite a bit farther south, just giving us a general 5-6 inches now. The American GFS model, though, a little bit farther north, with getting 6 plus, maybe 6 to 10 into parts of southern Maine and a general 3 to 6 across the rest of the state. We're taking into account the fact that it is going to be cold, the snow may be able to fluff up, and it's possible the storm tracks a little bit farther north than it's modeled right now, and that's how we come up with this forecast. Again, not a big snowstorm, but I think a good chance for 4 to 8 inches of snow, including the mountains, where it will be cold with a bit of a fluff factor into a lot of central and southern Maine. Then as you get into eastern and northern Maine, and even parts of central Maine around Waterville, probably just not as much moisture. So 2 to 4 inches of snow here, and then from about Lincoln north, less than 2 inches, and in some places there may not be much at all based on our current track forecast of the storm. Now, if the storm track goes north, these bands would shift a little bit north, and if this southern trend continues, then this 2 to 4 inch zone would come down a little bit farther south, and it would really just be southern Maine that gets into the higher amounts out of this system. So it's not a big one, but a wobble of 50 miles or so with the storm track, which isn't really much when you consider the storm right now is out on the west coast, could change these numbers a bit. But we think this is a pretty good starting place. Most of the accumulation will be done by early to mid-afternoon on Sunday, as we see it now. Again, Friday's a gusty day, so for any boaters, seas will be 5 to 8 feet, and a gale warning is up on the water. So this is how our 7-day forecast plays it out. A blustery, cold day on Friday. Temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. There could be a flurry or brief snow shower. Dry on Saturday, and then the storm moves in late Saturday night. First flakes in western Maine, probably either side of midnight, and then moving into the rest of the state during the early morning hours of Sunday. Monday should be dry. Most of Tuesday should be as well. This is an active weather pattern, though, where there are systems every few days, and there is another chance for a storm middle of next week, whether it's one consolidated storm or 2 different areas of low pressure that bring us 2 days worth of rain or snow kind of remains to be seen, but we will be keeping an eye on that forecast as we get closer to it. Thanks for staying with me for this extended forecast. You can always get them right here on News Center Maine Plus, and always get the latest on our website, newscentermaine.com, and we'll see you on the air and on the stream with updates too.